And welcome back to the OUTV podcast.
Started the podcast.
Episode...
I don't even know. Have we only done...
This might be three. This might be
three. That's what I was going to say. Have we only done three?
We're not a good schedulers. We're not very
Honestly, that's kind of embarrassing, Michael.
Well, we wanted to do it last week, but I decided to erupt with food poisoning.
Yeah. Can we talk about that a little bit?
My food poisoning?
Yeah, because I've never had food poisoning, but I know that whenever it, touches someone's life, it's ruined. It's like their next week is kind of very shitty.
It's quite angelic, actually. I went to bed at about 1:30 at like in the morning, the night before.
Because you're a college kid.
Because I'm a college kid, yeah, exactly. And this was Saturday night, so I guess you could say Sunday morning. I guess I went to bed. Woke up 2 hours later, didn't go back to bed. Because I was stuck in the bathroom for like 14 hours.
So when you fell asleep at 1:30 that
didn't
night,
feel it.
You didn't feel it at all?
Didn't feel a thing. Felt great. I was going in strong.
So it hits you like a wall.
Yeah. Woke up, I'm like, uh-oh. I went right to the bathroom, like, oh no.
And it's coming out both ends or just one end?
It started off with the one end, and then the second end came. But once the second end came, I was all good.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't all good, but it was better.
And it was pizza? Is that what I heard?
I'm thinking it was pepperoni pizza. But it was from the pad. I'm not denouncing the pad because I've had pad pizza for like a year and a half. That's
a big accusation right there.
It's not, because I love pad pizza.
That's what I was saying. Like, I trust pad with more than that. Like, when I was in the dorms, I would get
pads a lot.
I would get pad, and I would get do they still have like the buffalo chicken?
Oh yeah.
I used to get that all the time.
So I've always gotten pizza, so that's why I was like, something's weird. So the issue was, that's the only thing that could have given me food poisoning that day. It was either that or canned chicken noodle soup. That comes like pre-cooked, so that's that. Unless they put, I don't know, whatever.
Have you had food poisoning before?
No, never
had
had
But you could just tell as this was that.
It doesn't come out both ends unless something's wrong, yeah. And I didn't have a fever at all, so it wasn't like a stomach flu. So we're starting off great, really getting the attention.
No, we really just
went
squeamish
right
out
into
there.
this here. But I also had like a friend came over and they're like, "Hey, you want to, split a bottle of wine?" I'm like,
why not?
I didn't have anything else to do, so like I didn't even have that much. Like I had, I'm doing finger gestures, like they can see me doing finger gestures. But
well, you hold up your fingers. How much you have, folks? He's holding about maybe 2 or 3 inches of wine there.
Yeah, it was a small bottle.
Okay. Well, the circumference and diameter of the bottle matter if you're doing these hand measurements here. You're an engineer. You should.
So what is that?
What's the volume of a cylinder? What's the equation? 2 pi r squared times
it's
height.
pi r squared h. Pi r squared h.
See? So you're a smart cookie.
Thanks, man. I don't know actually how I remember that, but
what's your favorite geometric shape?
My favorite geometric shape.
Yeah.
It's an odd question. I'm gonna say an ellipse.
Ooh. See, I don't know what is. Like, I hear about ellipses all the time, but I don't know.
Well, it's mystical.
It is. It's like a unicorn of shapes, really.
It's used for so many things. A satellite dish is an ellipse because it's a 3-dimensional ellipse.
Ooh, see, you might have cheated just there because my question's operating in only 2 dimensions right now.
Well, okay, it's 2D works the same. So like, it has a special feature to it that anytime if you were to shoot a line straight into an ellipse. It hits anywhere in the ellipse, it'll bounce to the same point no matter where you hit it. So that's how satellites work.
Okay.
A bunch of energy comes in, they all hit in that one like little extending little bit of it.
And by the power of mathematics.
Exactly.
Well, what does a 2-dimensional ellipse look like? Just like a squiggly line?
Yeah, it's just like a pinched circle, I guess.
Okay. I'm into that.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's... what's yours?
No, I'm glad we talked about that.
Yeah. It's an interesting fact. Maybe people know about it.
See, I don't know. I asked this question. I didn't even know my own answer.
Okay.
I'm torn between the classic equilateral triangle.
Of course.
Which you really can't go wrong with. It's just a powerful
60
shape.
degrees.
Yeah. And it's all equal. There's a lot of math that you can do with that. I'm sure that a lot of people work on sometimes.
Yeah. It's what we discuss mostly at exec meetings.
Right. No, it's important issues, and we're there to talk about it.
That's why we're here.
But the triangle is tied with probably the octagon for me. It's just because everyone likes a circle. Obviously, it's probably up in the top 5 on everyone's list. everyone has the circle up there, but the octagon is kind of like a shapy circle.
You big cage match fan?
I'll watch one or two every now and then.
Is it because of the octagon or the fighting?
Well, we should... If that were the case, then I would not like boxing. But I do... Like, if it's on, I'll watch boxing. So I guess it's not really... Good
fight night doesn't hurt anyone.
Right.
Except for Ronda Rousey.
Have you ever bought a pay-per-view fight?
No, never.
Me neither.
Never. I've gone to B-Dubs for that.
Yeah.
A whole lot of... Great restaurant. I never got food poisoning from them.
We are sponsored by B-Dubs.
We're not sponsored by B-Dubs? No.
I guess not.
One day. I still want a Pepperidge Farms sponsorship.
Do they make cookies?
Goldfish.
Goldfish.
Flavor blasted.
What else do they make, or are they just the goldfish juggernauts?
That's all that matters is goldfish.
Wow.
You know, in Britain, they don't know what goldfish is?
Like the...
Never... Like, I got a friend in Britain. Like, yeah, I'm just having some goldfish. Like, goldfish? Like the animal? No.
They're really missing out then.
I know.
It's truly an American treasure at that point. I like... I prefer Cheez-Its. Like, if this is like we're talking standard cheese cracker.
Yep.
I gotta put Cheez-Its right above.
What about Cheese Nips? What's your opinion on Cheese Nips?
Can't say I've ever had Cheese Nips.
Really? Because I like Cheese Nips better than Cheez-Its.
What's a standard cheese nip? Describe the food to me.
It is exactly a Cheez-It, but tastes different. Like, just slightly. Just ever so slightly. It's the exact same thing, like same shape.
A bit more nippy than itty. If you had to describe it, more of a nip flavor.
I get definitely more of a nip flavor. Yep.
Okay.
But who's not a fan of more nip flavor? I'm okay. Well,
you funny.
Oh,
Too funny. Okay.
Wow, we've gone from throwing up and diarrhea to shapes to
It's really like we've never left this podcasting room. Instead of episode 3, it's like
it's a series.
Episode 100 at this point.
Congratulations on episode 100, by the way.
We should talk about how very kind the Sundial crew was for letting us onto their podcast.
And I felt a little bad, Mitch.
Yeah. Why?
The mic was only picking up here. I'm pointing to the back of the mic, the left side of the mic, and the front. Because
we used your mic that day.
We used my
fancy, beautiful mic right here.
ASMR. I'm to your left now.
This is an ASMR tapping video now.
Oh.
Do you watch ASMR stuff?
I know about it. I don't watch it.
So it doesn't work on you?
I've never really gone for it. Like, I thought about it.
You've never gone for it?
Is that the right term?
No, I guess so. I mean, I've never... the way I understand it, because I watch it a lot. Okay. Like, I'm a person
It gets to you.
It either you're a person who watches it and it works for you, or it doesn't.
What does it do? What do you mean works?
See, the fact that you've said that you've watched it, but you haven't gotten into it, makes me think you're not a person that it would work for.
What does that mean, work?
Okay. If you're listening to this at home, you owe it to yourself to Google this and not listen to my half-assed explanation of this very kind of weird phenomena. But ASMR is a type of kind of interaction people get with a certain stimulus. So it's called autonomic sensory meridian response. That's off the top of my head. That's off the top of my head.
I'm very impressed.
And what it is if you like I go to a YouTube video, and if it has like certain sounds, then it triggers this response in my brain, and it just relaxes me.
Okay.
It's like your body sort of tingles a little bit if you get like the right ones.
Okay.
And I understand how this comes across to a person that has never done it.
Yeah,
it sounds kind of oddly sexual.
It does. Well, I mean, I guarantee there's sexual ASMR out there.
But for like a person like me, what triggers my response is just kind of like tapping noises. Like, I don't know if you can hear that on the mic, just like tapping noises, like whispering noises. People like just fiddling with objects. Mm-hmm. Those sounds are just calming to me. And for a lot of people, they have different sounds. Like a lot of ones if you search ASMR on YouTube, I think some of the main ones are like massage role plays, or like haircut role plays, or like doctor stuff, when people they get their response when like the person's like up close to the mic and like working on their hair and stuff. But for me, it's like these tapping noises, and I think everyone has different ones.
So I heard about ASMR through I watched Rooster Teeth a lot.
Okay, yeah.
So they had this. I didn't watch it, but I know they had it. It was called something about a journey to the greatest head massage or something like that. And they went to India for something. I don't know. I'm getting my facts wrong probably somewhere. But one of the things they used in this was a special microphone that had two auditory microphones attached to it, the shape of a head.
Right. That's so. The best ones are like the stereo sound, where it's like each ear is hearing what it actually hears.
They were separated perfectly. So like the left ear would come out of the left ear, like perfectly away from the right ear, and it would be as if your face was blocking off some of the sound, because your face blocks off some from the left, and that's how this mic works. That was interesting to me, the concept, but I never really looked into it.
And I think like in some of the major ASMR YouTube providers, I don't know what you would call them. Yeah. But they shell out a lot of money to get special mics where the mic itself is inside this like head-shaped thing.
Yes.
And on each end there are microphones that come out each end where your ears would be, and there's like kind of polymer ears that come out.
Oh, really?
That do what your ears do when they kind of like shape the sound into your eardrum.
This market has to be big enough for someone to invest money into researching that technology.
Right, which is insane to me because it's like, I feel like anyone that has this and it goes onto YouTube and like tries to trigger this feeling, it's kind of like you kind of feel weird, you kind of feel, I don't know, like shady. I don't know how to explain it really, but you go to these YouTube videos and like they have 5 million, 6 million subscribers, and it's like insane. This many people actually have it.
That's insane to me.
Yeah, I wish you knew what I was talking about, man.
I got a long college career ahead of me. I got a lot of time.
You could give it the old college try.
Yeah. And believe it or not, this mic has the capability of doing this over here in the right ear and this here over in the left ear. So if we really wanted to, I could find a program that we could make an OUTV ASMR.
That would be amazing. Like a 1 week, like the ASMR edition.
God, dude.
Of the OUTV podcast.
I'm in your left ear now. Okay.
It's funny. We got on this topic by talking about, I don't know how we got on this topic, but we talked about the Sundial podcast, and it's funny how good they are at podcasting compared to
and how terrible we are
compared to a group who's probably only done 3. Just throwing out a number.
Well, we're at 100, so
right,
we're gone. We've gone.
This is 103. But James, Lauren, I don't know if you're listening. Perhaps you are. Perhaps you aren't. Thanks for having us on there. We have to have you on ours sometime. Mm-hmm. I know we talked about that, but due to the fact that we slack with these podcasts, it only makes sense that that hasn't materialized yet. But if you are listening to this and you are a fan of the Sundial magazine, stay tuned to our podcast because we will have James and Lauren, the venerable Sundial. That is a good word.
It's a great word.
Sundial crew on our podcast, and you'll see how true professionals actually do a podcast.
They came up with segments for us. We got to make them do
right. We should have our own.
We should make them do some weird stuff.
Maybe our thing should be that we don't have any segments, and we just.
That's our segment.
It's just
This podcast is a segment.
Right, where we just.
I like it.
Just kind of talk out our butts for 20 minutes.
We do it very well.
But I mean, you compare that to they had us for an hour.
And we somehow...
It was slam-packed full of good content.
Quality.
Good stuff. They had...
You had the tap in there, too. ASMR.
Did you hear that? They had the segment... what was it called? 10? 10 out of 10?
10 out of 10, yeah. Something like that.
10 out of 10, but where they would give you like this little challenge where it's like you get to marry your perfect 10 out of 10, your just dream spouse. Mm-hmm. But, and then each week the but is some different thing where it's like either, what was ours?
Ours was like a lamp, right? Something about a lamp.
They think you're a lamp. No, every time they're in your peripheral, they are a lamp.
They look like a lamp, yes.
So it's just dumb stuff like that creates like really funny conversations. If you haven't checked out the Sundial podcast, do that, or I will find you and...
We'll sue you.
Very much so.
In the words of Harish,
who's also part of that Sundial...
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Harish.
We always got to shout out to Harish.
Yeah, oh, for sure. He shouted me out the next week. Did you know that?
Did he really?
Yeah.
No, what did he say?
I don't know. He just said, hey, Mitchell, thanks for shouting me out. You're the best.
Well, now he's... We got to shout him out again here.
We should do that every week. The one segment of our podcast is...
So we shout out Harish?
Yeah.
Do we have to say like what we like about him, or do we just got to shout him out?
Well,
can we do it in ASMR?
I don't really like anything about him.
Well,
we just kind of shout him out.
That's true. That's awkward. And
just kidding, Harish. You're my favorite person. All right. So how would we rate this podcast so far? I think
we have established about 15 minutes 45 seconons of pure gold, comedy gold.
Honestly, you can't get this anywhere else.
No, it's because we're the only ones who make it. But
what's your birthday? When's your birthday?
October 11th. I'll be 21 this year.
Ooh. Well, here's something, though.
Okay.
Detective Mitchell's on your case real quick. I'm sure our listeners can go back to the podcast a little bit, probably around 3 or 4 minutes in.
Oh, okay.
Where
I already know
young Michael Roche was mentioning wine drinking?
No, unalcoholic.
Oh, okay.
Non-alcoholic.
All right. Well, case closed.
Non-alcoholic wine.
Okay, October birthday.
This was recorded in October of 2017.
How would you rate October as a birthday month, Michael?
How would I rate October as a birthday month?
As opposed to, September?
I think the prime month would be either June or July, because it's a good split. Yeah, it's a summer birthday, which means you probably got more free time, probably. Mm-hmm. And it's in between holidays.
Right. I think that's a big thing, especially more so when you're little. When you're a kid, like having your birthday overlap with
like Christmas,
a holiday is just hell. It's a nightmare.
Because then you get to some people whose are like birthdays are December 20th, and they celebrate like their Christmas and their birthday at the same time, and it's like you only get like single amount of gifts. I'm sounding so stingy right now.
No, it's all about the presents.
Yes, and the celebrations.
In this material world, it's all about those presents.
With that noted, do I have a bloody nose? No? Okay, we're good.
Oh, that would be a podcast.
I know.
Wait, didn't James get a bloody nose when we...
Yes, he did.
That's incredible.
The curse of James. When I was in 8th grade, I was on basketball team.
I can't get over that bloody... Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
In 8th grade, I was on basketball team. I used to get bloody noses every practice. I don't want to boast my wagon here. I was a starter, 8th grade.
Wow.
Pretty big deal. That's the joke, is that it's 8th grade, but... every practice got a bloody nose.
What, for what reason?
Either... If it gets bumped, it's definitely... Like, I already know. I get bumped in the nose. Oh, I'll be right back. I already know it's coming.
Still to this day, or was it more back then?
So, I had to get it cauterized.
Wow.
But the weird thing was that at every practice, I'd have it. So, every day of the week. Saturday, we have games. Didn't get a bloody nose at games. But I did at practice. Do you know what cauterizing is?
Do they burn it? Like, they seal it shut?
They straight up, like, psst, right in my nose.
That's insane.
It worked.
And it was only during practices.
Only during practices, and then...
Did the doctor have any, like...
He's just like, oh, it's a loose vein.
Loose vein?
Loose vein.
See, this is interesting to me because I used to get bloody noses all the time, too. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's just a nerd
You probably
thing
grew out of it. I bet you grew out of it.
No, right, for sure. It was probably from 6th till 10th or 11th grade.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's about mine.
It was always, and I wonder if it was the same thing.
It could be. Wouldn't surprise me.
It's going to turn into a WebMD podcast.
Oh, my God. No, that just means we're going to die.
It was always during, it would happen kind of throughout the year, but it was more concentrated during, like, the winter months. Mm-hmm. It was probably because my nose was dry or something. It's drying
out, yeah. That's mine.
But it's like, it would start bleeding, however reason. A lot of times it would just be because it was bumped or something.
Yep.
Maybe like once a week this would happen. And then it would just bleed for like a while.
Yeah.
And it was never like your standard nosebleed sort of blood load. It was, which is always just like maybe like a couple drips or something. This was always just like blood coming out of my face.
I had the same issue. I had the same thing.
It's funny that you brought that up because I had the same exact thing. And
we're like the same person.
I just don't get it anymore. And I really don't know what it is.
I bet you just grew I bet that little vein like somehow grew into you more or something. I don't know. That's probably what happened if I were to take a guess.
I'm so happy we addressed this. If anything that we talked about in this podcast, it was the fact that you had the same bloody nose problem as me.
We are the same person.
Michael Roche.
Yes.
Mitchell Dunbar. They kind of rolls off the tongue.
MR and MD, the same initials.
Mr. Med.
And Mr. MD.
Mr. M. Oh.
We're the medical brothers.
We have to end on that.
We have to end on that?
Do we? How far? 20
right
minutes?
About 20 minutes exactly. So.
Okay, yeah, let's wrap up on that beautiful note there.
We went from puking and diarrhea to oh my god, what else do we have? Like
blood, obviously.
Blood, yeah. We had.
Did we talk about anything else gross?
Oh, absolutely. I know we did. God, I don't even remember what we talked about.
Shapes.
Shapes.
You picked a really gross shape.
It was a very nice shape. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know really what else to say. I think we hit the ground running with this podcast for sure.
And we're back.
Thank you to all of our loyal listeners, all the hundreds of you out there that tune in each and every couple months to listen to us. It really keeps us going, I have to say. We will try to do another one soon.
Absolutely.
Within the next, and this one we mean.
We within the next 2 weeks max.
Okay.
Max.
So that means either one next week or the next week.
Yes.
Yes.
Set in stone. We're shaking on it.
We're shaking on it.
Can we get a sound effect?
Can you hear that shake? We're trying to get
ASMR.
some hand.
I'm not sure I like this anymore. I'm not sure I like this.
It's oddly sexual for me now.
Well, we got ASMR in here too. Oh, it's handshake. No.
Okay. And on that note, Ohio Union Television.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Thank you guys for watching, listening. Have a good one. Toodaloo. From Michael and Mitchell.